Good morning. Good morning, everyone. We're a little slow getting into our seats this morning, aren't we? That's okay, it happens. Welcome to the River Road Unitarian Universalist congregation. My name is Reverend Connie Simon, and I am honored to serve as your interim minister. If this is your first time here in person, we welcome you and hope that you will stop by the welcome table so we can get to know you and get connected. For those watching on YouTube, hey, feel free to join in the chat with our online host. If anyone is watching this at a later date and have questions, please visit our website to learn how to connect with us. That's rruuc.org. A few announcements this morning. Game night is tonight from 5 to 8 in the fellowship hall. Please bring a date. Please bring a game and a dish to share. You can bring a date if you want to. And I understand that some of you may be glued to a television somewhere watching something else, but you never know. You might be able to watch that here too, if you bring a laptop. Today at 11:15 in room 32 is the first of two of our RE brunches. If you're a parent, teacher, child, or youth, please join us in an informal gathering, and of course there will be food. If you have not yet completed the social justice interest survey online, please try to do that. That will help us figure out how to do the budget, what kinds of things you want to be involved with, how to connect people to different social justice activities here at River Road, and how to get involved and engaged. If you have questions on how to do the survey, please send me an email, let me know. The link to the survey is in an email I sent, and it will also appear in the e-weekly for the next couple of weeks. And as much as I love you all, I am not entertaining questions or suggestions to revise any of the questions. If you are interested in serving as a worship associate and reading these announcements or lighting the chalice or doing anything like that, there's also a link in the e-weekly for you to let me know that. You can come up and tell me that after service, but please understand that when 100 people come up after service, I likely won't remember it, so an email is always best. And lastly, since our joys and sorrows will be a little bit different today, I needed to make space for this one particular joy that has the whole staff buzzing, and I'm sure it will have you buzzing too. Natalie, where are you? Come on in. Let's congratulate our newest newlywed, Natalie. Natalie and her beloved Elle were married on 1/2/3, get it, January 23rd, and we have all been buzzing and excited about it and wishing lots of love on them, so you do the same. Congratulations. Details of all our programs and all the coming events and all of those things that I might have missed or that you missed hearing this morning are on the website at rruuc.org.
We begin our time together by lighting our chalice, the chosen symbol of our faith, with these words by Douglas John Traversa. In a world filled with the darkness of ignorance, let us bring the light of reason. In a world filled with the darkness of despair, may we share the light of hope. And in a world filled with the darkness of hate, let us shine the light of love.
Please rise in body or spirit as you are willing and able, and let's sing our opening hymn, Hush.
Good morning. I'm Laura Piervincenzi. I am your Associate Director of Religious Education. And today, before we get into prophetic voices, we want to take a moment to lift up the non-binary people and transgender people among us and throughout our country. Non-binary people and transgender people have always existed and will always exist. Nothing any president or anyone else claims can change that. Please know that we see you, we love you, and we support you. It's a scary time, and we hope that River Road and the larger UU community can be a safe and protective place. We will work towards that because you deserve it.
And now a little introduction to our prophetic voices, which is a video, and it's a little longer than we usually show, but we found it extremely important and the message exceptional. So at General Assembly of the UUA last June, delegates voted on a business resolution called Embracing Transgender, Non-Binary, and Intersex People as a Fundamental Expression of UU Religious Values. As it is for all business items, there was discussion in the form of pro and concern statements. Some of the concern statements, however, were deeply hurtful, and some of the things that were said on that concerns line have been debunked by science a very long time ago, which made it even more upsetting. Reverend Jacaren Oloya was the UUA board member responsible for presenting the resolution and was given a chance to respond to the assembly at the end of all of the pro and concern statements. This was her response, and after that is a short interview.
During UUA General Assembly in June, a debate over a business resolution that affirms and celebrates trans, non-binary, and other gender-expansive people prompted Reverend Jacaren Oloya to speak from the heart. Her words went viral online.
To my trans, non-binary, intersex, or gender diverse beloveds, lean in, lean in. I love you. I love you. I love you. Please do not leave this space without feeling my love and the love of others who see you as divine. I love you. You are divine. I love you. You are holy. I love you. You know who you are. I love you. You are worthy of being whoever you need to be to survive and thrive in this world. I love you, and I will say it for 50 seconds if I need to. I love you. 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 Do not leave this space without knowing that you are loved. If you are ever in doubt, call me, email me, text me, because what we will not do in this space is let you go another moment believing anything other than the fact that you are loved deeply just as you are. I love you. I love you. I love you.
In a July interview, UU World asked Reverend Jacaren Oloya for advice on how we can overcome challenges and center love in our daily lives.
I think that we, and by we I mean Unitarian Universalists, we have this tendency to want to intellectualize. You know, we have to have reason and we have to have facts to back up everything that we say. And that can work in some ways, but when we talk about people in their actual existence, that doesn't work. We have to come from here, from our hearts. And so that means that we have to stop debating. We have to stop prioritizing the right of speech for someone who is spewing hate. We can't do that anymore. We should have never been doing it. We have to center love. And we center love by, no matter what we hear, no matter the hate, whatever, we have to be willing to change the focus. It does not matter what this person who is screaming at us, like all the awful things, like those things don't matter. But what matters is that that person who's hearing it knows that none of those things are true. And it matters that all of the people who have these identities know that they are safe and they are loved. And that has to be the priority. It is simple. People make it more complicated than it has to be, but it is very, very simple. All I said was, I love you. That's it. That's it. And that's all you have to do. That's all we have to do. We just have to keep reminding ourselves. It takes a whole lot of time to undo trauma and to rewrite the stories that we tell about ourselves. But the only way we can do that is if we are saying the thing, we're doing the thing. And we just can't give up. Like, we can't stop. We can't say, oh, now that's over, like we can move on to the next thing that matters. No, it has to be constant. It has to be consistent. It has to be real. You have to be honest. You can't just say, I love you, and then walk away, right? Like, you have to show that you love every single person whose humanity depends on that love to survive. That's all of us. So that means going to the legislator. That means, writing postcards to voters. That means, being in the streets and marching and taking up, this huge, massive task of speaking up. That also means, like, stop debating with people in, Facebook threads about, like, what this all means. Like, stop all of that, right? Like, we don't have to do any of that. But what we do have to do is love. And so what does it mean to love? What does it mean to show up? What does it mean to be so spiritually connected that that is your first inclination and not to intellectualize?
A conversation with Reverend Jacaren Olaoya.
Hi, my name is Jacaren Olaoya. Actually, I should say my name is Reverend Jacaren Olaoya. I use she, her pronouns. I am located in Macon, Georgia, and I am a Black woman with medium brown skin, shoulder-length locks. I'm wearing red glasses and dinosaur earrings. I am a lifelong UU. I started this journey just as a visitor and fell in love in the first moment sitting in the pews at High Street Church in Macon, Georgia, and I have never been the same since. I come from a long line of ministers. I'm number 5 in my family living, so different traditions, but very much spiritually grounded.
How did you come to speak in that moment? And was what you said something you had thought about, or did it happen spontaneously?
The reason I was there in that moment, I served on the UUA Board of Trustees, and I was asked to sponsor this business resolution. So I was ready. I was there. I wrote the first 90 minutes I wrote. And I was like, this is not controversial. This is not something debatable. So I'm not even gonna speak in the second half. Like, I'm just gonna say, introduce this thing because it has to be introduced by someone. And I'm gonna let it go. But as we got into the discussion and I realized, oh no, we are doing something that we should not be doing. We should not be debating people's humanity. We should not be discussing the validity of the things that we are asking our faith to do in this moment. And I was angry. Like by the time it got back to me those last 90 minutes, I was very angry. And so that was not scripted. It was just me being me, trying to shift the focus into what really matters. It doesn't matter that you disagree. It doesn't matter if you don't value trans lives. Like, you're not important to me. But the people who are important to me are people who have to live every single day fighting against a world that doesn't want them to exist. And I just wanted them to know, I love you and I want you to exist and I want you to keep going and I don't want you to listen to any of this garbage. I'm quite bossy, so, I was demanding it.
What kind of responses have you gotten from people since that moment?
So overall, from the moment it happened until about, oh gosh, I don't know. Even yesterday, I was still getting responses from people. I just created my Reverend Facebook page so that I can kind of have some space between personal and professional. And I had about 500 new friend requests within the first 3 days. And people like on the Hoover app and on Facebook, people found me on Instagram, on my private page. Like, how did you find me? My name is not even on here. But people found me and they were so thankful. Just so many thanks, so many shared stories about ways that they have felt unloved in their lives and because of their identities, and just so much appreciation. No hate mail. And I have to say, I was kind of like preparing myself for like the hate mail, and when it didn't come, I was relieved, but also like very sure that like this moment, I've cultivated this life to be very, I know people think that you shouldn't do this, but I've cultivated this life to be very insular. And I surround myself with people that I love me, that support me. And if you can't be any of those people, you can't be part of my life. And so even though people have found me, like it's all been like people who have found me in love. And it is still surprising because we know that there's a lot of hate that lives out there. But I think it's kind of hard to argue against I love you.
At this particular GA, there was a decision overwhelmingly made to center love in our new shared values. What are your thoughts on that and on how this moment arose at the same time?
Yeah, so I have been on this love ministry for a long time. And so for me, just like being able to have love be affirmed through our values was just a really powerful, statement of like who we are and who we want to be. But to do it at this moment I think it gave it a little push because everybody is thinking about what it means to center love. And so in this moment, oh my goodness, like we are like centering love and we're talking about this, but how do we do it? How do we actually like go out and love people? And some of those comments that I got were like, I didn't understand what it meant to center love until I saw you in that moment. And oh my God, like, this is beyond anything I could have, imagined or even think about. Like, to know that, like, this was just one example and many that will come because we're going to keep loving each other and we're going to keep centering love. And so we just got to do it so that there are more examples. So I want more people to be out there loving each other and saying, I love you. And, just living these values truly.
You just outlined some very important ways that people who center love can act, should act. Do you have words of courage and encouragement for people who are afraid at this moment?
We should be afraid. Being afraid is not shameful. We're in scary times. We've never been here before. That's just the truth, and we can't hide from it. We are always going to be dealing with hard times and difficult times, but we can't get through it if we don't build our strength right now. And building that strength means finding joy, finding things to be passionate about, deepening relationships with the people around us, getting closer to your church community, finding ways to be together, right? Like those are the things, both virtually and, in person, right? Like these are the things that are going to help us get through these moments while we do the work that we have to do.
Any wrap-up words?
Just go out into the world and love each other even harder. Say I love you to strangers, people that you've just met, you don't even know their last name. Go tell them you love them and watch the world change, because it will.
Credits. Special thanks, Reverend Jacaren Olaoya. Interviewer, Elaine McCardle. Producer, Marianne Battle. Music, Envato Elements.
I love you, Laura.
I love you, Beth.
We love
And we
you.
love
So we'd like for us to practice a little bit. Practice what we just heard about. We invite you to briefly just tell someone near you that you love them. Tell 2 people. Go ahead. I hate to tell them to stop saying I love you to each other.
So they
We
go
could
on
do
for
that.
another second.
Yeah. And then are you gonna,
What am I? Okay. Thank you for doing that. We invite you to keep practicing everywhere you go. And now we are going to ask our children and teachers to go to their classes for religious education. Thank you.
How did that make you feel? I know, uncomfortable. Uncomfortable. When we were talking about doing that, we knew that it was going to make many of you uncomfortable. And that's part of the reason why we did it. Because it's important. Because love truly is at the center of our faith. And you may have noticed that watching Reverend Jacaren say those words again, it brought tears to my eyes. It did the day she did it. And it did again because in the last week, just in the last week, I have heard from a parent whose child asked, "Why does this man think I don't exist?" I sat in a circle with 20 colleagues, and every single one of them was afraid and wondering, how are we supposed to lead and be ministers in these times when we're afraid ourselves? I spoke to ministers and colleagues who carry marginalized identities, particularly Latino, Latina ancestry, and people in black and brown bodies who are terrified of being rounded up, who are terrified of being told to go back where you came from. It's always been this way. I can't tell you how many times I've been told to go back where I came from. Even here, since I've been at River Road, it happens. And that video that we saw, the response, we might think that the hateful words that prompted that response came from those people. They came from UUs, from Unitarian Universalists. Oh, well-intentioned, but we're the good people I promise I gave to XYZ cause. And still, as human beings, we have the capacity to hurt one another somehow. Doesn't make sense, does it? So if it makes you feel a little uncomfortable, I'm sorry, not sorry. And we have to get better at doing that. I get the desire to be corporate and intellectual and to be businesslike and to do all the things that way. And as Jeff Hollingsworth told me months ago, this is a spiritual community. This is a congregation. This is a religious institution. We are a community of faith, and our faith calls us to love. And if we can't do that, then why are we here? Why do we call ourselves Unitarian Universalists? We could be something else. We could be ethicists. We could be totally non-denominational. We could be something, anything else. But we call ourselves Unitarian Universalists. And as such, we are called to always side with love. So I invite you now to take a few minutes, ground yourself, enter into a period of silent meditation, reflection, and prayer on all that you've heard in the last 15 minutes. Afterward, we'll sing, "Open My Heart." On January 23, 2025, Reverend Dr. Sophia Betancourt, President of the Unitarian Universalist Association, issued the following statement. Family, familia. There are mornings when I wake up with a deep need for wisdom that comes from sources beyond my own individual self. Times when the struggle toward justice and the next faithful action eludes me, and I find myself grateful that I am able to turn to the larger community, the legacy of my ancestors, and the shared values of our faith tradition I hold dear. I wonder if, like me, you have experienced such mornings over the course of the last week, rising to the knowledge that we cannot do this alone. The extraordinary good news, even amid so much pain, is that we don't have to. We should not need to repeat the basic truth that trans people exist in this world, that our transgender and non-binary beloveds, my family and yours, are not only real, but sacred. That each and all of us is in fact a vital part of the fabric of this nation, deeply beloved and deserving of protection, safety, and belonging. That Earth itself cries out for restitution, and we must not turn away from the fight for climate justice. I send love upon love to the interconnected family that we are for one another, knowing that none of us goes it alone in these destabilizing and complex times. We are real. We are here together in all the ways we can be, and we will remain committed to the struggle ahead and the future we will make together. As the executive orders rolled out of the office of the U.S. President on Monday, we witnessed the attempted unraveling of decades of work for a more fair and free nation. Among the documents signed this week was an unconstitutional executive order challenging the 14th Amendment of the U.S. Constitution, which enshrines the right of citizenship to those born in the United States. Passed in 1868, the 14th Amendment has been the lasting bulwark against the Jim Crow laws designed to dehumanize Black communities in the South. These executive orders paved the way for large-scale deportations, the separation of families, and the unjust exercise of power in ways we can expect and ways we will discover in the years to come. We know they are already being challenged in the courts. Our work must be to challenge the bad theologies and oppressive systems that support them. I am the daughter of immigrants, both countries of my parents' heritage, Chile and Panama, have been under the control of U.S.-trained dictators. This shapes my analysis, as do all our relationships, identities, and commitments. And I know that for many of us, these new executive orders do not contain abstract human rights violations, but very real harm that will impact us and those we love in our daily living. We Unitarian Universalists are people with diverse identities, stories, and experiences. Yet we are personally, theologically, and covenantally bound together by the expansive love that has always been the animating center of our faith. Far more powerful than any faction, leader, nation, or creed, it is this fierce love that compels our deepest loyalty and our most courageous action. And it is this love that moves through and between us, enabling us to nurture wisdom, guidance, courage, and grounding in ourselves and in one another. We must respond with action. I encourage you to reach out to your local communities, support organizations that are long established in the fight for justice, and make your voices heard. Together, we can build a future where love and justice reign. In these days, I send my love and solidarity to each of you and to your families, communities, and organizing networks, to our faith, our nation, and the world. May that love take the form of courageous and faithful resistance and renewed commitment today and in the days and years to come. With faith and renewed purpose, Sophia. If you would like to have a text of that statement, you can find it on the UUA website, along with links to our UUA Resilience Hub, which offers resources for anyone needing care or wanting to give support and allyship to those who need it. And of course, you can reach out to me or to Reverend Karen Rasmussen if you are in need of pastoral care here. We must live into this value of love that we proclaim and make it be so. Take a breath with me. We're going to sing another song. And it might be a hard one. Maybe for me, I've still got my tissue. But let's stay seated and sing, How Could Anyone? Take another breath with me. Are you feeling right now? That's a good thing. Feeling is a good thing. It's important. It's proof that we're human. Each month, we share our treasures with an organization doing the work of beloved community. This month, our beneficiary is La Clínica del Pueblo. Please welcome Carlos Plazos, CEO, to share with us a brief summary of their important work. Thank you.
Thank you for having us here. Good morning, River Road Congregational Congregation. What a wonderful place this is. What a wonderful people you are. My name is Carlos Plazas. I'm the new CEO for La Clínica del Pueblo. But before anything else, I want to thank you for my bottom of my heart for your partnership and support to La Clínica for many years. Your commitment to La Clínica means a lot to us and our patients. A little bit about myself. Like many of our patients, I'm an immigrant to this country. I have been here for 30 years. I came here with a dream, nothing in my pockets. I did many odd jobs, put myself through a school, and now I have been working in healthcare for about 25 years, and now I'm running La Clínica del Pueblo. As much as I want to talk about La Clínica del Pueblo, today I'm going to talk a little bit about the patients that we serve. Many of the patients that we serve are immigrants. However, today, we are demonizing immigrants in this country for political reasons. Immigrants have been part of the backbone of this country for many years, and it will continue to be. We are an integral part of this society. If you live close any metropolitan area, most likely an immigrant was part of the team building your house. Many of the food that we eat is being grown by immigrants, cooked by immigrants, and yes, we also have lawyers and architects and doctors. For many immigrants, La Clínica del Pueblo is in a special place for them. Two main reasons. One of them is a safe space for them. Because regardless of what you look like, you sound like, or whatever status they have, this is a place that they feel safe to receive health care. Another part that is special about La Clínica is that we also think about what else is important around health care. And sometimes it is even more important, a program around this patient is even more important, these programs, that 15 minutes or 20 minutes or 45 minutes visit in behavioral health, that the services we have around them. Some of these services could be safe spaces for LGBTQ communities, support for survivors of gender-based violence, school-based behavioral care programs where we tackle behavioral health not only with a provider, but also case management to help these kids, the family of the kid deal with whatever issues they are having. Why is one of the reasons La Clínica del Pueblo is so special to our community, the Latino community, or some members of the Latino community, because they know there's a place. They're not only going to receive health care, but we're also going to have some wraparound services that sometimes are even more helpful than those 15, 20 minutes in a visit. I'm here today to share something that you already know. The immigrant community is under attack. La Clínica will be directly or indirectly affected by this, either through policy or funding. About 30% of our revenues is directly through the government or pass-through programs through the government, and this is how we will be affected. We will continue to keep Sardar open for our community. How do we know these things? Because we know we count to the support of agencies and congregations like this one. Yes, it's scary times, But me being here and seeing people like you re-energize why we need to keep our doors open for our communities. Thank you, and it's a privilege being here with you. It's the first time that I'm here in this congregation, and I feel the love, and I'm so proud to be another human being among you and feeling the love for people like you. Thank you. And I will be here for the rest of the next hour. If you have any questions, I'll be more happy to answer any questions that you have. Thank you for your support.
Thank you, Carlos. If you'd like to support the work of La Clinica, you may place your contribution in the offering basket as it comes around. You can also text to give. The text to give number is 73256. That's 73256. You type in RRUUC and the amount that you want to give. We also invite you to visit our website at River Road, where in addition to giving, you can find information on all of our vibrant programs and the ways to connect to the mission and vision of this community. Our offering will now be gratefully received. I want to ask you to meditate on something. When I came here, I asked Beth what some of the greatest struggles were that she was having with religious education here. And it was the lack of familiarity with what she thought were kind of basic concepts in our faith among the adults, not the kids, among the adults. And one of those terms being beloved community. And what does that mean? Why do we talk about that? We're not going to go into detail about it today. But as a follow-up to last week's service with the words of Reverend Dr. Martin Luther King, I want to give you this quote from King to ponder. Only a refusal to hate or to kill can put an end to the chain of violence in the world and lead us toward a community where all can live together without fear. Our goal is to create a beloved community, and this will require a qualitative change in our souls as well as a quantitative change in our lives. Ponder that for a bit. We as Unitarian Universalists are always striving for beloved community. A world centered in love, where everyone is seen, everyone is heard, and everyone is valued. Not because of their First Amendment right to speak, but because of their humanity, because of their very existence, because we are all interconnected. That's what we're striving for. We are striving for a time when we can see ourselves finally together as one. When we can look in another's eyes and see ourselves and our children and their grandparents and their neighbor down the street and the people that you don't even know. We're striving for a time when it doesn't make us uncomfortable to look another person in the eyes and say, I love you. That's why we come here. That's what we're working toward. Building a better world, a world centered in love. And sometimes doing that is difficult, but we always pray for love to come and take me home. I'm over here. We do more than just talk as Unitarian Universalists. We live our values as well. And there are a couple of things you can do to live your values this week. First, thank you to all who have filled one or more or several of these wonderful food bags to support To Be Well Fed. Yay! There is still time. There are empty bags out there, and there's a list on here of the things that are needed. So please, if you are willing and able and so inclined, please do that. Second thing, remember when we talked about the buddy bench? Last week, someone sat at the buddy bench and no one came to talk to him. That's not right. The buddy bench is in the fellowship hall. So for anyone who doesn't know what it is, one of the things that we've heard here at River Road, anecdotally, is that it's hard to get to know people, that it's hard to break into established relationships. And if you're new, how do you get someone to say hi? So we have the buddy table, which is a table where anybody who wants somebody to come and talk to them or say hi, they go, and someone should come and be with them. So just remember what you wished for, what we gave you. If we really hope to be that welcoming community that we say we want to be, we have to be welcoming. We have to live that value. The third value that you can do this week is to practice saying, I love you. Just look someone in the eyes and say, I love you. I love you. I promise it's not that hard. And with that, we'll extinguish our chalice by saying together the words that will appear on the screen. There we go. We extinguish this flame, but not the light of truth, the warmth of community, or the fire of commitment. These we carry in our hearts until we are together again. We have the potential to create a world filled with love, where we are no longer Democrats and Republicans and believers and non-believers and this and that. Or maybe we still are, but at least we are one in spirit. So I invite you to rise in body or spirit. We're going to sing our closing hymn, which is We Would Be One. The choir is going to sing it through first, one time, and then we're all going to join in singing it 2 times. Okay? Please rise. I love you. Go in peace. Go in peace.